Hello, this is Melita, and I am talking about the journey of my life of living with lupus. This is for anybody that's going through um, living with lupus. I started at the age of 29, and I wrote about it, and I was going to read what I wrote, but I'm just going to talk about just the journey of my life and just be real with whoever's listening and lead some advice of living with lupus. When I first found out about lupus, I had a small bald spot um, in the middle of my head, in the front of my head actually, and I was always scratching it. I wore braids a lot, and I was always scratching it. It was flaky, and I didn't know what it was. So um, I went to the dermatologist, and they just ran tests and everything. And the doctor had said something about um, lupus, and I had no idea. I never heard of it before. Um, And so they ran tests, and they thought it was like skin lupus at first. And he said, "Well, I'm a. I guess they sent it to labs or whatever, and then they found out that it wasn't just skin lupus; that it was synthetic lupus. I can't even pronounce it. Um, and that's when it goes all through your body, like your whole system." And at this time, I tried to do a little research. Um, Back then, I think it was in no, it was in uh, 1999. And they didn't have a lot of, internet and Google and all that type of stuff. So, my research was really thin at the time. So, I was asking people about it. I lived in Kansas at the time, so um it wasn't a lot of people didn't know about it, and so it wasn't a lot of research I could do at the time. But the little research I found out, it affects your joints, and I didn't have a lot of people to talk to about it. And it seemed like my doctors really didn't even know much about it. And the medicine they gave me um, at the time, even the pharmacy had to order it. I think it was called Plaquenil. As a matter of fact, I am still on Plaquenil. Um, Like I said, I'm going to tell my story. I know there's a lot of people out there that have different stories, but this is what I went through. I remember that summer I had worked at a boys and girls club, and I had that's when I had found out about the lupus. So I had told my supervisor about it because I was going back and forth to the doctors, and I had to let them know so I can keep my job. And I guess one of the supervisors, I went back and said something and was talking to the other supervisors, and one of the little kids I had, heard about it. And I remember he came and he told one of the little kids that I can laugh about it now, but I was really, really hurt at the time that I had this disease, um, because it was called is a disease. It's called lupus. That I had this disease called lupus, and at the time he really couldn't even say it right. And the kid came back and told me, and I was devastated at the time because I mean these kids was like 5, 6 years old. They didn't know about that stuff, and they shouldn't have had. The supervisor shouldn't have been telling my business, but that's what I went through. And anyways, I had to tell them because I actually had to hide my face because what happened with the lupus that you get these rings around your face like somebody punch me in the face and I had a black and blue around my eyes and they called that at the time the butterfly effect because it was around one eye really bad and then it was coming around the other eye. And it really like someone had actually punched me in the face. After that, I missed a few days because I actually was embarrassed. And I took some time to think about it. And I actually came back to work. I came back to work and I said, forget this. I have to live with this. And I just came to work and another thing I experienced because it was the summer and we went swimming and I had to wear bathing suits and I had to learn this like I said because the doctors didn't really know much but I actually educated myself about this. If you're in the sun too long, you should start to get more black and blue marks all over your body like someone had beat you up, like you got in a really bad fight. And it's the sun that you can't be around, and cause you black and blue marks all over your body. And so I had to learn I couldn't be in the sun too long. And as soon as I get out of the sun, like 10 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes, the black and blue marks went away. So this is that I had to learn this and educate myself. Um, and I told the doctors about it um, and did research about it about myself, and that's how I learned. So I went through that. I kind of lived with it, and I did go through some depression because I started to go through some joint problems. And that's another thing you go through is joint problems. It caused uh, my knees and stuff started to get really bad pains. And when I was walking, sometimes my knees gave out on me. Long story short, I went through joint problems. I went through black and blue problems. And then it was a journey of with the bald spot. When I did find out about the bald spots, it started to get bigger and bigger, and I started to lose my hair slowly. So much to go through. So I would tell you on the next recording, I will tell you more of the journey that I went through of living with lupus. Stay tuned.